Okay, this video is for head entrepreneur 524, and their question is how to teach a shot or pass with power to young kids. He coaches U8s who are good at dribbling and get in front of the ball, the goal, but they don't got no power. And he says, or she says, she's tried with them the crossbar challenge. He's tried to put a bench out to shoot over it. The question is it technique, or have they not physically? They haven't grown physically to generate power. Okay. Well, that's good. You're trying different things. That's good. U8s, they're good at dribbling. That's good that they're good at dribbling. They've got working something. Power crossbar challenge. Okay. I would. When I coached U8s, I coached them so well, and I'm not just saying this, that they're one of their parents, and this is me tooting my own horn because this is directly related to your question, and I think it alludes to a story of some level of right. I'm basically saying I've helped solve this situation before. So a parent came after, or I saw a parent after the season, and he said the skills and drills that I did with the players, this is Narragansett Middle School, it helped them develop. So step one, when you get to practice, I would search, okay, so I want to help you develop their warm-up. You want to keep them healthy, and you want to instill in them the practice of warming up. So if you search Ido Portal with the locomotion warm-up, right, locomotion, you could search locomotion. Who else? Who am I thinking of? Gymnastics. Just search a good gymnastics or karate warm-up. So you begin to lead that warm-up, and if you teach them that it's good to warm up, it's like how many, I'm sure you know how many heard stories or seen players get hurt from just shooting the ball hard on the goal, which players love to do early in practice. So instill in them, encourage them to warm up, have a good warm up, instill in them. You got to learn a good warm up, and you got to teach it to them. So I think you should learn Ido Portal's locomotion warm up, or just Google search good gymnastics warm up, or you could search I'll include one in the link. I'll find it for you because I can't remember the name. Okay, so now that's a foundational answer to your question, right? How to develop their power. So we're gonna develop it with smart training, with a smart training plan, which is warm up before you start doing all this stuff with them. Technique, movement. I would then develop a juggling practice with them, and we could start it with I think it's easier to teach if you focus on thighs first. So just having a small ball or a regular sized ball, just enough so that the whole player, right, you gotta have enough balls so that each player has a ball, and just repetitions with them holding, right, they have the ball in their hand, and they're walking forward with you, just letting the ball drop it and keep it, and then they work towards 2 and then 3 and so on. Ideally they have lots of balls in their hand. I find tennis balls are cheap. Their tennis balls are cheap, and you can if you could send out an email or a text that has everyone bringing a whole bunch of balls, so each player is bringing as many balls as they can, so that they can get to practice and carry them all at the same time and juggle with them around the practice field. It's like footballs, basketballs, everything, right? If it can be juggled, little foam balls. If you're in U8, you have a development capacity for, it's endless. So. I think it's smart to try to put a bench out to shoot over that juggling, right? Juggling will help. One drill especially, the juggling with forward spin, without forward spin or no spin juggling, because what it does is it forces you to lock, right, to really point the toe, lock the ankle at the time of impact. And I forget which coach had the team learn this, but no spin juggling and forward spin juggling will make it. So if you practice technique religiously, if you master it, it'll be easier to teach your kids. So you actually have to learn this, and I'll include a video to learn this technique, or you just practice, keep on hitting the ball until you learn which angle to put your foot to make it have forward spin juggling. This will develop the technique to shoot with power and pass with power. You gotta land on your shooting foot. I've made a video about this before. I'm gonna include it. So it's landing on your shooting foot is one. So take a step back. Get a cone that you could put a soccer ball with. My soccer skills trainer when I was young had us elevate the ball, and this was allowed us to practice shooting the ball and landing on our shooting foot. So if you could demonstrate that, right? Monkey see, monkey do. You show them how to shoot the ball with the laces and land on their shooting foot. So repetitions of that. A skills kick trainer. Again, it's also my video, SKLZ, kick trainer. You could order some, if you have duct tape or electrical tape, you could order a whole bunch of size 1 or size 2 balls, whatever's cheaper, and you buy some length of rope. You can also get that on Amazon. I'll get all these things on Amazon so you don't waste a trip. A length of rope that you could just duct tape skills balls to, and now your whole team is, when they're at home, right, repetitions of bring the ball up. You're basically making a skills kick trainer, and your average player is going to usually swing the ball around and bonk their friends on the head because they don't realize as to how fast they could improve on a simple ball on a rope. Repetitions of ball striking and really locking the ankle during the point of impact, that will definitely help increase their power. And juggling, right? So those two things, juggling with different size balls and increasing the repetitions and comfortability on the ball, and then shooting, landing on their foot. Yes, those two things, having played physically generate power. Balance work, even it's hard because you're the coach, right? So you only have a limited amount of time, and that's also considering that if they're going to be engaged or not, to even listen to your suggestions. But those two things I would encourage if you have receptive parents, encourage them to make or order skills kick trainer. I think the biggest change will come when you order a skills kick trainer for yourself, and then you start using it even when you're not trying to teach them or instill in them to use it. If they see you using it, they will pick up the ball and teach each other how to use it. This is what happened to me with a bunch of players. I wasn't teaching them how to use it. I didn't say one word. I just used the skills kick trainer and had them watch me using it. And it started a chain reaction in where they were improving. I said nothing to them. They only saw what I did, and I was helping their skills level. Because I've noticed some kids, if you give them something and they don't appreciate it, they'll lose it, or it'll just sit somewhere because it hasn't connected to them in their mind. They haven't seen it in action, so they don't appreciate the art of the play with the said tool. So, skills kick trainer. Different size balls to juggle with, starting with the thighs. You could try putting a bin a few yards away from. I used to do this thing called the barrel game, where you have players lined up, and then there's a line of barrels, and we players would go face to face with each other a couple yards out and see who could kick the ball into the barrel, at first with right foot with a bounce, then left foot with a bounce, alternating with a bounce, then right thigh, left thigh, both thighs, and then the last one was anything you want. So doing that progression of body parts, we would race towards the barrel, a big green landscaper's barrel, with against each other, and this was addictively fun. And I think it taught us proper technique, because you know, when you're running, you have to be able to, you know, juggling and also moving forward are two different things, and you need one to develop the other. So again, that barrel game, I spent time doing that every practice. I would spend time sequences, if they're already good at juggling, teach them this sequence. It's called the sequence, I call it the Rosetta Stone of dribbling, because once you master it, it'll combine with all other moves you know or have seen, so you can easily replicate them. It goes with your right foot, you go outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, right? So outside of the foot right, outside of the foot right, inside of the foot right, outside of the foot right, inside of the foot right, and it switches to your other foot, and you do the same thing, right? Outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, and then the other foot. When you have your players do it, make sure they slow down, they say it out loud, so you're almost saying it in unison: outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Because when you say it out loud, it'll help them memorize the pattern, and it just helps. I just know it helps. And since they're already good dribblers, this will, you know, make them develop even faster, right? Outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Kick trainer, have the parents either buy it for them or show them the benefits, so that, you know, you don't have to spend, if you don't have the funds to do that. SKLZ kick trainer on Amazon, $22 I believe right now. Every single one of those players should have that, and that's going to help them develop. You know, if you get one kid, let's say each parent buys each single kid on the team, just one, that might start a chain reaction. So all you gotta get is one player to fall in love with it, and that can start with you. Bring it to practice, and then I will do videos for landing on your shooting foot and whatnot. All those things. I hope this helps.